What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Gaming with the Broscast, episode 98. My name is Harrison. I am joined by my brother, my co-host, as always, Nick. Ever so closer to episode 100.
We are getting so close, and I never thought we'd get there. And we're coming up, I guess. The next podcast will be just about the 2-year anniversary.
Yeah,
of the Gaming with the Broscast.
Yep. Yeah, because I think it was a couple days before your birthday, so
it was right on my birthday.
It was on your birthday.
Podcast,
That's what that was. You're right.
Yeah, we talked about Luigi's Mansion 3, and I can't remember what else. I think you were probably playing. I think you were playing an Assassin's Creed or something.
No, I don't think I was. I haven't played Assassin's Creed. Valhalla was the first one I played in a long time. 2019. Right before the pandemic hit.
Yeah. Little did we know. We were kind of ahead of the curve, though, doing this through Zoom / Twitch to begin with.
Exactly. We were ahead of the curve. Ahead of the curve. But yeah, we're going to be talking about a few games this week, particularly one game called Visage that I started playing randomly because it's on Gamepass, and I texted Nick about it and was like, man, you got to at least try this game out because it's freaking spooky. So talk about that. And we got some not a lot happening in the world of games this week, but we've got a bunch of little minor details. But Nick, before we dive into what we've been playing and all that good stuff, how was your Halloween weekend? What did you do?
It was pretty good. It wasn't as Halloween filled as I anticipated, which is completely fine.
I'm not a big Halloween guy, to be honest. I don't know.
See, I like the idea of Halloween, but once it actually gets here, once the day of Halloween rolls around, I'm like, I don't know what to do. I'm not going to trick or treat, obviously, because I'm.
Yeah, I guess it means more when you have on the day itself, especially on a Sunday, it's like you're not going to throw a party because most people got to work. So yeah, if you don't have kids, it's kind of I don't know. I guess you just watch scary movies or something the day of or whatever.
Yeah, and that's kind of what we did on Friday. I watched the Resident Evil movie, the first one, the very first Resident Evil.
Have you ever seen the first one?
I've seen bits and pieces.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, it wasn't
not bad. It's probably kind of cheesy now, but
yeah, it's a little cheesy, but I definitely remembered the iconic laser scene.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
that was kind of gross back in the day, but now it's it's really not that bad.
It was a little cheesy.
Yeah, a little cheesy.
But yeah, that movie was good. I definitely want to go through it and watch the rest.
You should. They get stupider as they go.
Yeah. especially before Raccoon City comes out, and it's made by the same director.
Is it really?
It is.
Wow. Okay.
It's made by the same guy.
Okay, I did
same
not
guy
know
who
that.
made that and Monster Hunter.
So he rebooted it himself.
He said, "Yeah, I've made 6 movies."
Wow, I did not know that. Either way, the trailer for the new one looked pretty dumb, but I liked it. So
I'm surprised his wife isn't in the movie because she's what's her name? Mia Djokovic.
Yeah,
she's the actress in Resident Evil and Monster Hunter.
Yeah,
so all of his directorial movies.
Yeah,
which is funny. And then on Sunday, we'll see. And then I watched Army of the Dead on Sunday. That was the one with.
How did you like that? It's pretty dumb.
It was fun. Yeah, it was a fun movie. It was pretty dumb. The idea of having these kind of intelligent zombies that form this tribe and kind of built, a tribe in Vegas is kind of weird, but
just kind of how really how stupid people are, because you literally have this. It's Vegas. You have it contained within the wall, and then, but I guess from a story standpoint, it makes sense. You have all this money just sitting there, so it makes sense. But still, it's come on, you're stupid.
Yeah, it was a fun movie. It was a good movie for.
Are you gonna watch the sequel, Army of Thieves?
Oh, I don't know. And I think
I was thinking about watching. It's a prequel. Sorry,
prequel. Yeah, with does it focus on Dayton?
I can't remember his name, but whoever the the thief guy, the
vault.
main, the vault thief guy is, it's with him. But
it is okay.
It's solid. I think Zack Snyder's a really bad director, but that's just me.
It definitely had his. You could see his
lots of slow motion,
lots of gore, lots of splattery blood, just like in Suicide Squad. I mean, it all kind of blends together, I guess. But
he didn't do Suicide Squad. He did. That was that
was James Gunn.
That was James Gunn. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Whoa, man, whoa.
Sorry. Okay, I did think Suicide Squad was good. I'm not saying it was bad.
The new Suicide Squad was pretty solid. But nothing like a good solid zombie movie for Halloween. Those are always classics, go-tos.
I did dress up for work on Friday.
Okay.
I was Edward Collins from Twilight.
Cool.
Or a version of Edward Collins, except I wore I had to wear a mask when I was walking around the office and when we took our Halloween photo. And without seeing my face, because I had a little bit of blood, I had makeup on and my lips were a little bit redder. But with a mask on, you really couldn't tell that I was dressed up in costume. So it's kind of just
Mom did show me a couple pictures of that. I did the one where you're staring dumbfoundedly out the window.
Longing for Bella.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah. It was fun.
Yeah.
Regardless. And had a good time. But how was your weekend? I saw some very scary pictures of Kellen dressed up.
Yeah, so we went quite the ringer with Kellen this week. So we didn't order his costume until Monday or Tuesday, and just because it was up in the air of whether he wanted to be Pennywise, if he wanted to be something else. So finally, he decided on Pennywise. That's what we ordered. We ordered it from Amazon, and it said it was coming the Sunday of Halloween, or the day of Halloween, whatever. It ended up coming Saturday, which is awesome. But we had a kind of an impromptu date night with Brittany and I, because the grandparents came down for Halloween, just to get them out of the house or whatever, so they could be with everybody.
Yeah.
So my dad was like, "Hey, we're gonna come pick up Kellen on midday or around noon on Friday. I'm gonna take him over to my job so he can do a little trick or treating." And then he's like, "I'm just gonna take him and keep the kids for the night." So we're like, "Awesome." So we're trying to figure out what to do. And little did we know that our local movie theater opened back up in May, which is awesome.
Nice.
So it's Halloween. We went and saw Halloween Kills. It was a movie. It was okay. It was okay. It's a Halloween movie. You don't go into those movies expecting I don't know, something crazy story wise. It was
for yourself.
So my biggest problem with Halloween movies in general, especially with this one, I'm not going to spoil anything, but because it's in the trailer, but at some point, the main theme of the movie is evil dies tonight. You want the whole town is tired of Michael Myers killing people, whatever. So they all gang up and they try to find Michael Myers or whatever. And at some point in the movie, they end up finding him and they beat the crap out of him. And then he does what he does, my thing is there's multiple times in the movie where they had him on the ground. He's quote unquote defenseless. He's not really defenseless because he's Michael Myers and he can't die, but he doesn't have a weapon, but they've got him on the ground he's knocked out. How many times have you shot him and you stabbed him and he just gets back up? Behead him. I know it's super brutal, but cut his head off or smash his head in with something. It drives me insane. This is going to be a 3-part movie series anyway, so it's
oh, was it?
Yeah, there's the next one comes out next year and it's called Halloween Ends, so we'll see what happens. You already go into that movie with the expectations of Michael's going to live. That's just what it is. And really any kind of 80s horror slasher movie that's kind of come up through the years, you never expect the actual villain to die. Just they always go on. They have to go on.
It's a character.
Yeah.
It's almost like if a superhero died.
Yeah, exactly.
That's happened, but it's kind of like that. You don't want him to die because it's a franchise, and they've got movies to do.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a pretty brutal movie. There was like one scene in particular that I mean, and I don't like necessarily body horror type of movies like Saw and like Hostel and those kind of things, like torture porn, kind of movies. But I do like a good solid like badass kill, But there was one particular scene where Michael kills somebody and it's really gross, and I was like, oh god, like just it kind of threw me back for a second. And even after Brittany and I got finished watching, I was like, man, that scene would just like kind of give me the heebie-jeebies because it was just really gross. But yeah, I mean, other than that, it was a pretty solid horror movie. It's definitely intense, but and it's streaming on Peacock too. So if you want to watch it from home, I definitely recommend if you're
Peacock.
Yeah, if you're paying for that service, I would say give it a shot. It's a solid like hour and a half, whatever movie. So, but then on Sunday. Well, on Saturday, my parents mom brought the kids home, and Kellen was pissed. He did his thing. He didn't want to come home.
Of course.
And it wasn't until like 11 o'clock that night that we finally got him to try on his costume. And of course, he was in love with it. And because at first we were like, the one we got him came with the mask, and he didn't want to wear a mask. He wanted his face painted. But once he saw the mask and how creepy it was, he's like, no, I want to wear it. Which was cool. It saved a lot of time for Brittany the next day because she painted her face as well. But yeah, he loved it. He was like walking around like being real scary and spooky. And I played like the It theme. And when we went trick or treating, I had my little speaker and was playing the It theme as well.
Nice.
But we got so Halloween Day, we got like 5 houses in, and he's like, I'm done. I want to go back to Gammy and Big Papa's house.
Really?
This year we brought like our little cart, and we're like, no, we gotta at least like hit like 15 houses, because there was like a lot of houses doing Halloween, and then finally we got him to like stay out of the cart and just walk, and then he was like, okay, I want to go here, so I think it was just like, I don't know if it was like the laziness of just being in the cart. He was just ready to go.
Yeah.
But once we got him involved and stuff, he was having fun with it. But
that's good.
Yeah, it was a good weekend. And then on Sunday, real quick, I watched Dune. I was telling Nick before the show, like it's kind of hard to, and I don't know if I just wasn't paying attention well enough, but it was hard to really understand what was going on off the world of like, what is it? Arrakis. Once you got on there and the story really kind of focused down, it was really easy to pay, to pay attention and follow along the movie. But like just the whole house thing was strange. Like they all had like different planets. Like who is the emperor? What does he control? Does he control all of space? Like it's really hard to kind of understand that. And then I didn't understand like where the abilities came from. Like they're kind of, it wasn't magic, but it was like these, I don't know, these abilities that some people had, but some people didn't. And I don't feel like they explained that a lot in the movie, but maybe I missed it. It was like a brief kind of mentioning. I don't know.
Well, I think it was from the Bene Gesserit, or I guess whatever the mom is. I think she was the one that has the powers of the voice. And
right,
then,
the voice, yeah.
And then Paul has it as well, or he's learning it, or learning to uncover it.
But there's like also other people that had similar abilities. I don't know. Like they called it like the voice that you mentioned, like the one lady where like he summons Paul in and he puts his hand in the box, whatever. Like,
well, she was one of the Bene Gesserits.
Okay.
So it's all the same kind of, I don't want to say species, but same type.
Okay.
Same character type.
So I didn't really understand like why they had those abilities and why they were different. But maybe
I don't think they explained that.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it was super cool. Like I liked, like, again, it's like, they go into space, but they're still using swords, which is pretty badass.
Yeah.
And then like, but I didn't understand the armor that well, because like you could still stab people, so I didn't really understand the point. I guess if you were to get hit like far away or something, someone could still, I guess you could still block it with the armor, but again, like you got close to somebody, you could penetrate their shield barrier and kill them. So, but either way, like those criticisms aside, I really did like the movie.
Yeah, it was really good. I thought
excited for the sequel, part 2, whatever.
I love the costume design in this movie too, like the costumes that the Fremen wear.
Yeah,
or the garb that the Fremen wear. It's really, really cool.
Well,
cool
like the Fremen have like that special piece of, I wouldn't call it armor, but where like absorbs like the water from your skin and stuff like that, your sweat, tears, whatever it is, and
recycles it
and keeps your body cool. Like all that stuff was super cool. And the sandworms are badass looking. Like, yeah, super cool. I really liked it.
Nice.
But yeah, that was kind of my weekend. It was a good week. It was good. It was a good Halloween.
That's good to hear.
Yeah, good Halloween week. You want to dive into what we've been playing, Nick?
I do. Yeah,
all right. You go first because I've been talking a crap ton. So go ahead.
So I want to talk about Riders Republic because, for one, this game's kind of flying under the radar for a lot of people. I feel like a lot of people don't even know that it came out. And
yeah, I totally forgot until you were like, what did you, I got a game. What is it? I was like, I have no idea. What'd you get?
So yeah. Riders Republic. It's kind of like, I don't know if you remember Steep from a few years ago. It's kind of like that, or in the vein
that
of
was
Steep.
Ubisoft as well, right?
It was, yeah.
Okay.
So they're trying it again, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Except this time you have, you can race bikes. You have like BMX, or kind of like BMX, where you can do tricks and stuff. You have snowboards, skis. You have your flight suit, and then you have like a rocket flight suit as well.
Oh, cool.
And then you can like get around on a snowmobile and stuff. So there's you have this like giant arsenal of equipment to use.
Okay.
And there's like, I mean, the story's kind of run in the mill for an action sports game like this. It kind of reminds me of, like it kind of reminds me of Forza, where you have, what's that?
No, you just said Forza. I'm like really weirdly excited for it because I haven't really played much Forza, but
yeah,
go ahead.
Well, Forza kind of has like three different types of events. There's like the off-road race. I think there's like on-road, and then maybe a couple of other types of races. But it's kind of like that, where like you'll have like a bike race, you'll have a snowboard trick contest, things like that, and some of the races will even switch between them in the middle of the race. So you'll be riding your bike, and then you'll go off a ramp, and then you'll be flying through the air in your flight suit, or your wingsuit. Sorry, I couldn't think of the name. And then it would switch back to like snowboard or something, and that's like one of the coolest parts of the game. And then they took that and put it in a mass event. So you have 64 players all doing this like massive race that's switching off between snowboarding, biking, flying through the air. I mean, you're switching like a couple of times throughout each race, and you
does it do it automatically for you, or do you have to do it yourself?
It does automatically. So like you go through a checkpoint, and then it'll like seamlessly switch you
that's cool.
over to whatever you're going through. So that has been really cool. And they're kind of like timed events, and I think they occur like on the hour. So, I'll be doing like some other race, and then an event notification will pop up saying, "Hey, mass event's going to start in 5 minutes." And then I'll either warp over there or pull out my like jetpack thing and fly over there.
Okay.
And then,
cool.
You get to sit in the lobby with 63 other people and just hang out for a couple minutes, and then you go, and like, I don't know. It's kind of what I wanted Steep to be. I mean, it still has. I feel like it's really, and this happens with a lot of action sports games, but it's like super broy and super like,
yeah,
cool,
I
dude,
did
like,
kind of hear, but like it's like they use, like not necessarily use this, but like totally tubular and just these really bro.
Like this footy is gonna be sick, dude.
That nobody ever says, even if you're in that scene.
And luckily, like they kind of front load that in the tutorial, because you kind of get like video calls from a lot of people who are explaining these events, and that happens in the first hour, and then it doesn't really happen after that. So it does settle down, which is good. Like I know I was like almost embarrassed playing it in front of Alicia, because like it was just ridiculous, and I don't know.
I wonder why
It's
they
like-
even do because I don't think
It's not
anybody.
necessary.
Yeah, it's not necessarily. It doesn't make it cool. And then
Oh, no,
if
no,
it
it
if it
doesn't.
and then if it drops it off like immediately after an hour and it just stops doing that kind of stuff, like I just don't understand the point of that stuff.
It's weird, and maybe there is uh, a portion of society that does talk like that. People who are really in on snowboarding or in on biking, but
I don't think so though. I've
really
never
don't
heard
think so.
anybody talk like that outside of like a video game.
Yeah, it's really jarring and it's super weird, and it's not like bogging down my enjoyment of the game in any means, but the first hour I was just like rolling my eyes, like just let me
It's
play.
like I'm
Just
about
let
to
me play
throw
the
my
game.
headphones on because you're embarrassing me, man.
But the controls are also really good. It kind of
Okay.
plays like Skate does, where you can choose between two different control schemes, but the one I chose, you use the right stick to do tricks, or you do your right stick to like jump, and you kind of like pull it in one direction and then flick it in the other, and you'll spin or you'll do a front flip, and then you'll use the rest of the buttons to do grabs and stuff. And
Okay.
yeah, the gameplay is kind of incredible. Like the game's beautiful,
Wow.
gameplay is
Okay.
amazing. I mean, you own it as well, so you could try it out if you want.
Yeah, I might check it out.
Yeah, no, it's a really fun game, and I'd recommend it if anyone tried Steep and was kind of longing for something more. I would give this a shot because this, I mean,
Or
it's
just
a
like
big,
love-
it's a big playground.
Yeah, snowboarding games in general because
Mhm.
I mean I know there's more to this, but yeah, you just don't get a lot of games like in this action kind of sports
Yeah.
genre, and Ubisoft is the only one that's ever tried really.
And like it doesn't really pay off for them, but I give them credit for trying to do it. I mean, you're right. Like, EA is doing Skate, and it's cool that they were forced to bring that back by the community.
Yeah.
But Ubisoft is doing this stuff like no one's asking for it, but they're doing it.
Yeah.
And
I'm
it's
so
really-
surprised that EA hasn't got like an SSX Tricky remaster or something. Like, how cool would
I
that be?
know. And it would sell really well too,
Yeah.
just by default. Like, yeah, if they did Tricky, yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. They
Why
probably had
not?
to they probably had to pay for the like the licensed soundtrack and stuff. Because if you don't have that song in there, it's like, you gotta have that song in there. But yeah, I mean, I'm glad Ubisoft is still trying to keep up with these games and put these
Mhm.
games out because it's other than them, it's pretty much like a dead genre.
Yeah. And one more thing I wanted to touch on is, of course, it's an Ubisoft map. So like there's a bunch of points of interest,
Right.
and races and stuff to see. And one of my favorite parts of it is actually the stunts that you can do. So I think I've really only done for bikes so far, but like there's like obstacle courses for bikes.
Okay.
Like, where you're like trying to ride on these small ledges and kind of jump between things. And then there's one where you're in a canyon and you're kind of like on top of a bunch of these rocks and you're trying to jump between them and, do all this really, really cool stuff. I'm like, dang, like they really brought everything from the biking world, from the snowboarding, skiing.
That's cool.
They really brought it all together. And I thought that was really cool. So yeah, that's all. I mean, that's really all I got to say about it. If you're interested, I would really check it out. I mean, I know $60 is steep, no pun intended, but yeah, I would check it out.
Cool. Very
Harrison,
cool.
Harrison, I want to hear your thoughts on, is it, how do you say it? Visage?
I was saying Visage. It may be
Visage?
Visage. So I think I'm probably a little bit more into the game than you are.
Yeah.
But I just kind of, after Metroid Dread, like I've been, like part of me is kind of missing. It's just,
I'm still playing it. I'm still playing Dread.
yeah, I do. I kind of want to go back to it and play some more. But so I was kind of just longing to play something. So I just happened to see this on Gamepass. And it was like it's called Visage, a psychological horror game. And I was like, oh, it's Halloween, it's spooky time. Let's download it. And I download it, and you're instantly open with a guy in like his garage, and he kills. And this is like the first 2 minutes of the game. He kills 3 people like in cold blood with a gun, and then it starts with you waking up like in the same area, I guess.
Yeah.
And then spooky stuff starts happening. So I guess my main criticism is so far is like it's weird like handling items, because like in the first scene you have like arms and hands that are animated, blah blah, but going throughout the game it's very kind of Resident Evil-esque. You kind of pick stuff up and you don't actually have hands, I guess.
Yeah.
And you're kind of, you could move items and stuff, but basically there's no combat. You're kind of going through this house at the beginning, and I'm technically in like my first chapter, but there's 4 or 5 chapters throughout the game where you focus on different people. And it's based off of an item that you pick up kind of in the beginning foyer. But yeah, I picked up I can't remember what item I picked up, but you pick that up and then it kind of starts the chapter. And yeah, it's a really, I was telling Nick at the very beginning, I've never played a game where I've just been constantly, like I constantly have goosebumps. Like, Resident Evil 7 I thought was a pretty intense, scary game. But that's parts of Jack just kind of constantly following you in that aspect, and then the other kind of spooky stuff that happens. But this, it's like it's all psychological. It's got like a sanity meter built in as well, so like you have to stay in the light. There's like lighters and stuff you can pick up. It's got like pills or medication, anxiety pills, whatever you want to call it, that you pick up that you have to like pop whenever your sanity starts to fill up. And it can kill you if it gets too much. Because I've only died one time, but it's because like at some point in the game the lights go out in the house, and yeah, it's really hard to kind of maneuver. But yeah, man, I really like it. It's a pretty good looking game. It's very PT-esque, like in like it's only really focusing on just inside of a home, so they can really render and make the pictures look really good. Everything from the finer details to the wallpaper, and yeah, it's a really creepy game.
It is incredibly creepy, and I told you this before the show, but I had started the game at 1 a.m. after playing Riders Republic, and I really didn't know what I was getting into.
Yeah.
And I ended up cutting it off after about 30 minutes because like I didn't really know what to do, because I ended up picking up the garage key.
Okay.
Or sorry, picking up the key next to the front door, and that started what ends up being like the hardest chapter in the game, and I really didn't know where to go from there. So I looked up a walkthrough, and it just told me to start with another chapter. So I restarted the game.
Oh, okay. That's probably what the one I did.
Probably, yeah. But yeah, I restarted and did the child's chapter, and yeah, there have been some incredibly spooky moments, and like the whole time you're walking through that house, I mean, like you're dealing with ghosts. So like the problem with ghosts is they can show up anywhere.
Yeah.
And like the kind of the premise of the game is keeping the lights on, staying in the light,
mm-hmm.
to keep your sanity in check. And at some points like the lights will just go off, and like sometimes you'll have a lighter that you can use, but sometimes you won't. And like when the lights go out, like all hell kind of breaks loose, and you just have to kind of book it for a room or something. And there was a point where I walked into a room and a TV was on, like an old school TV. And you might have gone in this room, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But it changed channels, and it showed, and I don't even know like what room it was in, but it showed the view of a room, like from almost like from the bed looking at the entire room. Then you could see the door.
Yeah.
And like there was just like a figure in the doorway.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't moving, and it stayed there the entire time. But I just kept looking at it, just waiting for it to move or something. And it never moved, but it was just freaky. Like it's such a scary game. And like I can't.
Yeah, it's hard to tell in this game what's scripted and what isn't, because again, there is that sanity meter. And I was at one point I was I don't know, I just finished up this. I'm not gonna spoil anything but you come out of this one area, and I come back and like the light started flickering, and then you turn around and like there's this like naked grandma, essentially, I guess the older lady, Dolores, in the game, and she's like facing the door, and she slowly turns around, and then like she just like the lights cut off, the cut back on, and she's gone. So it's stuff like that, and like my sanity was starting to rise a little bit before that, so I didn't know if that was a scripted moment or if, what it is. There's also like light bulbs in the game that can like lights can break, and you can find light bulbs to replace and stuff like that. So there's like a lot of like little items that you can do to help yourself, and you just constantly just flipping on switches and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The one chapter I did, and yours sounded a lot different than mine, is I chose the Dolores chapter. And it starts off, you go into this room, and there's like this giant kind of sheet hanging over this thing, and you don't know what it is, and you go up to it, and it ends up falling. And then I think the TV flickers or something, and you look up at like the kind of the banister above you, and that same sheet is over something. So you're like, it looks like somebody's standing there, and then you go upstairs, and it turns out to be a mirror. And then there's like this whole mirror aspect where you warp between these mirrors. So it's very interesting the way and you're warping to different areas of the house. Because in this chapter, I end up finding like a sledgehammer, and you have to break the glass to activate the mirror, and you can kind of see to other dimensions of the house. But one of the creepier moments of the game is once I got to that part and I was kind of in the upstairs area, footsteps start to happen in the attic, and you can look up and see like dust coming down where they're at, and they kind of follow you where, the areas where you're walking. So it's really effective. And again, because it's such a confined area, it's they can really do a great, job of the details in the home itself. So, and then eventually you make your way up to the attic, and it's super creepy. And it's a really, again, it's probably one of the scarier games I've played in a long time. Like, it's very, very nerve wracking.
Thinking about it is getting me worked up.
That the chapter I'm on is really creepy. So I want to see what else. I'll probably end up finishing this because it's kind of right up my alley with kind of the spooky stuff. But it's quite good.
It is. Yeah, it's a good game. So if you're into that kind of stuff,
and it's no combat so far. Like and again, it's weird. Like the first scene, you have like arms and hands and stuff, but even like when you look in the reflection of the mirror, you don't see anything. So it's weird. And because I was looking at a mirror in this room, and it you're obviously seeing the reflection of the rest of the room, but I was like, what am I looking at? Because like I didn't see myself. And then I realized, you don't have a reflection. So I don't know what the deal with that is, or if that plays into the story at all. I have no idea. But it's a little weird. But again, I'm only on like and you can kind of, it seems like you can kind of choose the chapters any way you want to. So I don't know how they're all going to tie in together, but yeah, I'm really interested in this game so far. It's quite cool. Nick, you played some Zero Mission?
Yeah, I've been playing some more Metroid Zero Mission. I actually tried to boot up Metroid Prime 1.
Oh, really? Okay.
On my computer.
Oh.
And so apparently like Metroid Prime is very intensive.
Okay.
Like not graphically, but from like a CPU perspective.
Interesting.
And so you need like an extremely good PC to be able to run it smoothly. And I'm choosing my Mac, so it was kind of chopping up. But I played through to the first boss, and then after the first boss, you lose all of your stuff, and you have your physical amnesia or whatever it is. And then I went down to the planet. So I haven't played much, but yeah, Metroid Prime is really good so far. And then Zero Mission is also amazing. I mean, it reminds me a lot of Dread, where you're kind of going between areas and you're getting a new item, thinking back like, oh hey, like I remember this block needed a morph ball bomb to get past it, and just fought Kraid, and it was a very, very similar fight to Dread, where
really
he'll shoot the missiles out, or he'll shoot his little spikes out, and you jump on top of them, and attack his face, and then he'll knock you back down, and you do it again.
I've been thinking about trying to find a copy of Prime. I know
you can get it on Wii U.
It's on the shop.
Yeah, the trilogy with the Wii motion controls.
Okay,
it's like $20 for all three.
Not bad. So like a part of me wants to do that, but part of me like knows
that a remake
or probably a remaster is coming.
Yeah.
So like I don't know if I want to necessarily not spend the money, it's $20, but invest in something that I know is has a potential of coming next year.
That's fair.
But playing a lot, playing through Dread obviously, and going back to Prime, Nick, how different is like what's I've never really seen much of Prime, so how does the map work versus the 2D map? Like how does all that kind of stuff work?
So the map is almost as if they took a 2D map and just made it 3D. I mean, you can see the rooms you've been in, you can see rooms you haven't been in, you can see blocks, doors, and granted this is just from my 30 minutes of gameplay, but I mean, it's a pretty intuitive map, and Metroid is kind of built around the map, so I think Prime does a really good job with it. And then in terms of like actually finding like missiles and like missile upgrades and finding like health upgrades, it's also very similar to something like Dread, where you can see like right when I landed my ship on the planet, I could see a missile upgrade, but I needed to actually get into a morph ball to get to it, but I didn't have a morph ball yet. So it's like there is going to be that backtracking that you'd expect. That you'd expect. And I think the beginning area of Prime, or at least when you land on that planet, there were like 4 separate doors, or 4 separate points of entry, and obviously you can only get to one of them or 2 of them. But it's gonna kind of have that interconnected feeling that Dread has. And I kind of want to play through it all, but at the same time I want to wait for if there's a remaster. I mean, we'll see, but Prime feels really good. I mean, obviously it's one of the most highly regarded games, and a masterpiece in a lot of people's eyes. So
I definitely want to go through the trilogy and before Prime 4 comes out. But
Zero Mission is also really good. Yeah. Cool. And then I'm on my 4th playthrough of Dread. I'm going for hard mode within 4 hours, and I just got the gravity suit, so I can now move quickly underwater. So I'm pretty close to the end.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Have you played? I have not played any more Resident Evil 4 VR. Have you?
I've just played a little bit today.
Okay.
And
I'll probably play some more tomorrow. It's been a busy weekend and stuff, but I really want to get back to it. I want to try it standing up and stuff and see how much better it feels for me doing it that way.
Yeah. Ashley is still annoying in the game. She's still randomly dying. And maybe it's my fault. Maybe I need to tell her to wait back in this corner or something, but she dies a lot.
Yeah.
But still great. Excited to play through the rest.
Cool. I did play a little bit of Moonglow Bay. It's that game that got announced. I think it was on like Xbox's like kind of like 3-hour like indie conference thing they had. Like I don't know. It was a pretty long like showing of a bunch of idea Xbox games. But this is the one that kind of stood out to me the most. It's like it's pretty much like a fishing game. but it starts off like the graphics are really, really nice. It's kind of like Minecraft-esque, kind of very blocky and stuff. But it's like I guess like over the top is not quite the right word. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out how to describe like not isometric. I don't know. But anyways, the camera's kind of over the top, so you're kind of looking down on your character. But it starts off, it's like pretty rough. Like you're out on like the bay with your wife or your soon to be wife or whatever, girlfriend, longtime girlfriend, I'm not quite sure. And you're fishing. She's kind of like telling you the basics on how to fish, and there's some sort of like urban legend in the water that steals people's souls or something like that. And then it kind of cuts to black, and you not wake up, but it's 3 years later. Your girlfriend passed away. It's not quite sure how it happened. And your daughter comes up, and since she passed, the town is kind of sunken in really bad, and like there's no more sale. There's like no more like no one comes and visits the town anymore, so they're not making sales, and there's just no revenue in the town. And your daughter ends up quitting her job and comes to help you, and she's like, you should start your fish stand again or whatever. So that's kind of the premise, and she teaches you kind of how to fish, and there's like different lures and stuff. And I've only played about an hour of it so far, but it's pretty interesting. I don't know if I'm going to play more. I'm kind of on the fence. I really want to play Visage and RE4. And then, this month in particular, there's so much stuff coming out. So I don't know if I'll get back to it, but it's pretty interesting so far.
Nice.
But
you said it's on Game Pass?
And it's on Game Pass. So it's okay. free for Game Pass subscribers. It's kind of got like a little bit of like a Harvest Moon or Stardew Valley kind of vibe to it. Like you're purchasing fish, and then you take your fish inside, and you kind of go through like these quick mini games of like how you want to cook your fish. Do you want to fry it? Do you want to bake it? So there's like different mini games, and then you take it outside to like your little right now it's like a box, but you put it in your box, and then you can sell it, and people will come out through the day and purchase your stuff. And like the currency is like shells, so it's weird. I don't know. But cool so far.
Nice.
And then before we dive into news, Nick, you have played a little bit of the Switch Online N64 stuff. Like, how has that been for you? Because apparently the emulation hasn't been super great. It's been kind of weird. So what have been, we ended the show last week with it finally coming out. I was not able to get it because they wouldn't let me convert from a family plan back to a single plan. And now the reviews have kind of come out, and like the experience with it, I'm definitely not paying $80 for the family plan. In which I planned on going back to the single plan anyways, because again, my daughter Kaylee, the only thing she plays is Fortnite, so you play that for free. So I don't really need the family plan. So, but even then, like I don't know how much I'm going to play this Animal Crossing update, so I don't know.
I get it. I get your reservations toward this because I'm underwhelmed. I like, and granted, I've only played handheld, so I really haven't had that much input lag. But I've played a little bit of Ocarina of Time, and like it just felt like really old compared to like the 3DS version, which is the best version of the game. I played some Yoshi's Story, and I was pretty lukewarm on that one as well because I'm really not a big Yoshi fan.
I'm not either. I want to be. I want to like a Yoshi game, but I just haven't.
They're just so slow.
Yeah.
And then I played Star Fox and enjoyed that one.
Okay.
But after I played, what was it, last Monday? I haven't played since then.
Really? She just played. Wow. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that might be it for now. I mean, like, I don't know what there could be from the Nintendo 64 library that would draw me in. I really think they should have gone like Game Boy Advance or Game Boy Color, because like, in my opinion, in Nintendo 64 games, they don't hold up.
They don't. I actually booted up, and granted, this is on my 55-inch TV. I plugged in my converter and booted up Zelda, and just kind of loaded up my save from. And it's really weird to load up a save from 20 years ago, longer than that now. So that was.
Oh, you booted up your Nintendo 64?
Yeah, the 64. I put in my little like HDMI converter. So that was cool in a way, just because like, I mean, gosh, 97 is when Zelda came out. So I mean, that save was 21, 23 years old. So was pretty cool just to think about that. But again, it was stretched out to the screen, so it didn't look good at all. But again, I'm not playing like a CRT TV where it's supposed to be played, so
yeah, not meant for it.
But I was still wanted to play it on my Switch, and just to see, how it played, and
that's fair. And if like, I guess if you wanted to pay the extra $30 for that, I mean, it's anyone's money to spend, but in my mind, it's at this point, it's definitively not worth it from my perspective, because I'm not a big Sega Genesis guy.
Yeah, me neither.
Like I have like some nostalgia for the 64, but not as much as like someone like you who's a little bit older, and that was kind of like one of your first.
Yeah, my first introduction. It was I had the Game Boy Color was my first introduction to gaming, and then with Pokemon Blue, and then Zelda was. I mean, you were what, 3 at the time, maybe?
Yeah.
So like, I mean,
don't have much memory of it.
Yeah. KFC.
Yeah.
I assume you're talking about baseball, and so I don't really watch a lot of baseball. I did watch like 10 minutes of the game last night and saw the grand slam, but I don't watch a lot of baseball.
Well, is there a team called Liquid in baseball, or is this a
I don't know if that's a baseball term or not. The Astralis. I don't know if that's. I don't know. Unless we're talking about some sort of video game thing, which I don't know.
This could be. Is that a esports team?
It could be. And again, I don't really watch a lot of esports either. So either way, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm sorry, but I'm glad you're here.
Oh wait, no, this is esports.
Oh, it's esports. Liquid. Okay.
What major is going on right now? Is it?
I know like the internationals is over for Dota, so I don't know what other major stuff is happening.
Yeah, Team Liquid. That's unless it's also a baseball team, I think it's esports.
Well, you got the Astros and the Braves and baseball, so that's about it.
Yeah. So yeah, I would definitively say that it's not worth $50. And it could be my nostalgia. I'm more nostalgic for things like the Game Boy Advance, but even aside from that.
So I mean, I guess if you are a diehard Animal Crossing fan and you're so pumped for this DLC, maybe you pay for this for the year, right? You pay for the year. You're essentially paying $5 extra for this plan, versus what you would have paid for the $25 expansion. Granted, after the year, you don't get the expansion anymore if you don't pay for it. So, but I know people put thousands of hours into Animal Crossing, so maybe by the time you played this DLC for a year, you've gotten everything you've wanted out of it. So maybe that's worth it, but it's also something that you don't own technically, so you can't have it again unless you pay for it.
Yeah.
Nick, my hopes is now that because I mean, the online service for Nintendo has never been great since it came out. You got the cloud saves, and you can play Smash, Splatoon, Mario Kart, kind of the big three online games. and then there's no voice chat aside from like the app, and who, like, I honestly, if anyone is still using that app, I think I tried it one time and like it kind of didn't work that well.
Mm-hmm.
So now that this Nintendo's plan has gotten up to the price of it, Xbox and PlayStation plans, not quite as expensive yet. I mean, that's where people really start to question this service and what it's worth, and they just, let's give us a free game for a month, give us Mario Tennis for a month or something for free, and then take it away for after the month or whatever, and then it gives us I mean, I think we mentioned this last week, but they've got to do a better job at, just, I like voice chat is one thing. I think enough people have complained. I don't think that's ever going to happen at this point. And that's not necessarily something I'm worried about, just because I don't play a lot of online stuff, and I definitely don't want to hear people talk. So that's one thing. That's I know a lot of people do want it, but there's not something that I necessarily want. But just something similar to Gamepass, and you can take games away and bring games in, and get third party stuff involved. Whatever the case is, they've got to do better. And hopefully over this next year, they'll bring more stuff, not just N64 games and more Sega games, but just better additions to a reason why to own this. Because I feel like a lot of people next year that renewed or paid for this plan are probably not going to pay for it anymore, because it's just not worth it.
Unless they add another retro console and don't increase the price, and I don't know they're gonna do that at this point.
Yeah, and that's the problem. If they come back here in 6 months or next year, and they're gonna add GBA and Game Boy Color games or whatever, Game Boy games, and they're like, oh, it's an extra $10, like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So I don't think the approach is to constantly increase when your service isn't really that great, and you're making people pay an extra $30 for, some bad emulation stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
I mean, yeah, it doesn't make sense, and hopefully they figure it out. Hopefully they see that their price announcement video was their most disliked video on YouTube.
Yeah.
Like, people are very unhappy about the pricing of this and about just the quality of the emulation. I mean, yeah, it just kind of sucks. Like, and like, granted, it's only $50. Like, that's what, $4 a month, $4 and some change.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not the end of the world, but you're forcing people to pay it all up front.
Yeah, there's no monthly option anymore for this.
There's no monthly, which it's kind of schemy, but I guess I understand when you're not really adding any new games.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I really hope that they, whether it's they include some DLC every once in a while, like they do with Animal Crossing. Like, that's the only reason why it's really worth it for anybody at this point. Is that Animal Crossing DLC is included, but hopefully that their game plan was to get people just to buy this thing, and then they'll just make it really worth its while, in a few months with other surprise additions, not just new N64 games or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Something.
Agreed.
But let's you want to move on to the news?
Let's get into the news.
Yeah. So again, not a lot of big things happened this week, just kind of minor stuff. Mm-hmm. The State of Play did happen on Wednesday. Or was it Wednesday or Thursday? Wednesday, right?
Wednesday.
Yeah. So not a lot of stuff there, but I know, like, Little Devil Inside, they had kind of an extended gameplay moment at the very end, which that game looks super cool.
It looks good. I need to rewatch the trailer. But
yeah, it's like it's almost like diorama-esque, like, looking in visuals. But that game looks pretty cool, and like kind of right up my alley for that type of game. But that's kind of it, Nick. I don't really have a lot of else that I was really
the biggest announcement
like.
for
Star
me
Ocean got announced. That was
Death's Door.
yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I was happy that it was coming to the PS4 and PS5.
Yeah, it's coming to all consoles now, so
it's coming to Switch too.
It's coming to Switch.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's
hopefully
gonna get some more love on there.
Yeah, it's probably a top 5 at least.
Mm-hmm.
On the game of the year contender kind of thing. But yeah, good. Yeah, great seeing that game get some love because that game was quite good.
Yeah.
That was it, right? I mean, was there anything else standoutish toward for you?
There's the Bug Snacks DLC, and then another
free?
Look at. I believe it's free.
Mm-hmm.
And then look at Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach. And
I was more. I mean, I've never played a Five Nights at Freddy's. I think I played like one of the original ones, barely. I was more impressed from what I saw than the first initial kind of like launch trailer, or not launch trailer, but the first trailer they showed off for that. It looked. I don't know if I'll play it, but it looks decent.
Yeah, it looks like a serviceable horror game.
I'm sure it'll be very, very popular for like YouTuber let's plays type of thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's cool. Nick, there's a bunch of Game Pass stuff coming out this month. You wanna kind of read them off? I kind of highlighted the major stuff. There's some other stuff coming, but this is kind of the major stuff.
Yeah, so the major items coming are It Takes Two. It's coming out November 4th on Game Pass.
One of the best co-op experiences ever.
Yeah.
By the way.
Fantastic. Have you finished that, by the way?
I'm not. I plan on finishing it really soon.
Okay.
Really soon.
Kill It With Fire. That's the game where there's like spiders that are running around, right?
Something like that. Yeah, I highlighted it because I was curious about it when it first came out. But now it's on Game Pass. So I'm gonna check it out here in the next couple of days.
Mm-hmm. And then Forza Horizon 5. That's coming out November 9th.
Yep.
I think you can play it a week early if you pre-ordered it.
Okay.
Or if you bought like a special edition.
Okay. Cool.
GTA San Andreas San Andreas is coming out November 11th, and that's just one part of the trilogy. So this is the definitive edition, and they're just putting one piece of it on Game Pass. So if you want to buy the rest, you can.
Yep. And GTA 3 is coming to PS Plus as well.
Oh, that's cool.
So Vice City is the only one that's not on a on like a service or whatever. Which I thought was like maybe that could be something cool on Switch, but it's not coming.
Yeah.
I mean that could be like a really cool addition to the pricing plan, but they didn't do that. But I'm super excited. I've never played San Andreas, so I'm really excited to see what this thing looks like. I'll definitely check this out.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna check it out, and then it wouldn't be another year if we didn't have another Skyrim release.
So Skyrim, what is coming in this special edition update, by the way?
I think they're adding fishing to the game.
Okay.
And maybe new textures and just various updates, probably more mods that you can use or implement.
I don't really mess with the mods a lot, and I need to check them out. I always liked the dragon mods and stuff. It's like the Randy Savage from wrestling. Oh yeah, brother. Oh yeah, and it just
God, yeah, Skyrim, man. It
never stops, man. It's the game that keeps on giving.
This and GTA 5 are going to go down in history. I guess this GTA 5, Resident Evil 4. I mean, how many times? How many times will we bite?
Forever, man.
Forever.
Skyrim until you die.
Hey, Skyrim forever. Forget about Elder Scrolls 6. We're going to put it out on everything.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah, but there's some more stuff coming to Game Pass this month. I didn't highlight it, but you can just look online and see the list. But yeah, there's some really good stuff this month. Something for everybody. So Yeah, check. I mean, I'm pumped for Horizon 5.
Yeah, I want to, like, I'm ready for like a new Xbox Game Studios game.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, this game looks just so beautiful. So it's gonna be such a great showcase for what the Series X can do. So, yeah, and all the videos, it just looks so good. It just looks really good.
It's funny because like
I'm excited.
Forza Horizon 4 was kind of a showcase for what the Series X can do as well.
Yeah,
with its upgrade.
that is true.
Yeah.
CD Projekt Red announced that no more Cyberpunk updates. They've been kind of delayed until 2022.
What are we gonna play?
Yeah, exactly.
No.
As well as the Witcher 3. I don't know if that was necessarily 2021 for sure.
I think it was initially.
Okay, but and I'm more excited about that than
mm-hmm.
than Cyberpunk. But yeah, man, Nick, who's gonna be playing Cyberpunk in 2022? I mean, I will.
I'll check it out.
I don't know. There's man, it really depends on when this comes out, because the front half of 2022 is loaded right now. So
I thought they said it was Q1.
Was it Q1? So
and then Witcher is Q2. Good luck.
Yeah,
good
I mean, I'll definitely open it up and try it out, but to invest in like a 20, 30, 40 hour experience with so many other games coming out, like, yeah,
how much?
Like I said, good luck.
How much did you play of?
Like 3 hours, maybe 2 hours.
Really? Damn.
Yeah. I'll probably just restart because I don't even remember at this point.
I was probably 10 hours in.
I didn't like.
Stopped.
The world just didn't get me.
Felt dead.
Like, yeah, and I didn't even get to like the open world stuff. That was just the initial, few cuts or few missions that you go through. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah,
I'm more excited about this Witcher 3 update, so I can finally finish that game.
Don't restart it.
No, I won't. If I restart,
if I hear you talk about the Bloody Baron one more time, I'm going to lose my mind.
Such a good mission, though.
Again. No, it's a great mission, but like, I know you're going to play through that. You're going to get about two hours deeper, and then I'm not going to hear about it again because you're going to be done.
Yeah, pretty much. Get lost on what's it? Sully's. What's it called?
Something with an S.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know. Oh, The Witcher. I don't know, but the Witcher season 2 comes out next month. So,
oh yeah, I'm gonna rewatch season 1.
All right, yeah, I already saw Brittany. I was gonna watch it again. She's like, oh, God, I hate this game. I hate this show. I hate this game. You want to read the next one, Nick?
Yeah, so Returnal is getting a suspend feature, so you can suspend your run mid-game. And
much needed. I would say.
Yeah, runs can get pretty long in Returnal. I think they can get up to like 3 hours. So being able to actually save your progress and turn off your PS5 without worrying about your PS5 just shutting down and you kind of losing your save, you can suspend. So there's people are already exploiting it to turn the suspend feature into a save feature.
Oh, nice.
So you can save scum and come back from where you saved.
That's good.
So
I think it should be a save thing anyways. But I mean, I get it, but well,
no, you shouldn't be able to save because it's a roguelike.
Well, I'm just talking about like in a mid run, like I would.
Oh yeah.
Like, yeah. I'm not. Yeah, like save, like, because if you're like suspend, but then what if your Xbox got completely turned, or not Xbox? What if your PS5 got completely turned off, and like that suspend is gone? Like, just give me a one-time save or something that you could just save and come back to.
Yeah,
like that would be nice and ideal. But yeah, I mean, this is better than what it was, and that's why I was. After those reports of people losing their like 3-4 hour runs, I was like, no, thank you. I will never play this game.
Because I'm not going to sit there for 3 hours, 4 hours straight.
Yeah.
And play a run, like play one run.
Yeah. And also, I'll probably never play this game anyways because I just don't like roguelikes. So there's that. I don't know.
I'll probably play it at some point. I'm really interested now, and if I can get it relatively cheap. Yeah. Sony, they started their own PC label.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, with all these initiatives of bringing their PlayStation titles to PC. Yeah, I mean, this is just kind of the next step in that evolution. So,
I'm sure it's. I don't know the sales for all the stuff that they've put on PC, but I'm sure it's probably pretty good. And it's really like they definitely have different approaches between PC releases because like Xbox obviously just does it day and date, but Sony's is pretty smart. Like you start releasing the stuff, your main games on the PC, a year or less in advance for the sequel to come out, and obviously that's going to be on the PS5 exclusively for a long time. But it's really smart to kind of build up buzz and stuff.
Yeah, so. I mean, I wonder what percentage of people they kind of convert from having a PC or having just a PC to getting a PS5 or getting a PS4. Like, for like anyone who's playing God of War or Horizon. Is God of War on PC?
I don't know if it's out yet. I think it's coming out soon though.
It's coming, and then Horizon that's on PC.
Yeah, I'm sure people will double dip too. You haven't played God of War in 4 years, 5 years, whatever. 4 years, I think.
3 actually.
Was it 2018? Wasn't it?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. So yeah, 20. I mean, 3 years. Play it on PC where it'll arguably run better, look better. So, I mean, yeah, people might double dip.
Why not? Yeah, I mean, it can only be a good thing, right?
Yeah. More sales, more buzz, more
money.
San Andreas is coming to the is Oculus Quest 2, right?
Exclusive.
So finally, like, and granted, these have been remakes, but I feel like there's not been a lot of buzz for like the Quest 2.
It really hasn't.
Like, I mean, it's always kind of been like the thing. It's like the best place to play Beat Saber, and that's about it. And there's like a lot of other, pretty decent to good VR games on there. But I mean, between getting Resident Evil 4, which is excellent, and then San Andreas, which we don't know a lot about or how it looks, but I mean, it's cool.
It is cool. I wonder how far they're going to go with it, or if they're going to have to censor like a lot of it.
The first person.
I mean, like you get in cars with hookers, and I'm assuming San Andreas, just like any other Grand Theft Auto.
It probably will just convert to third person like it does for RE4 for some of that stuff. That's probably the way they get around that type of stuff.
Probably.
I would assume so.
It's funny though.
It's for sure.
It's a weird game to do this for, because like it's a big game.
Yeah. I'm wondering how it's going to run, like totally. And I'm super curious. And then lastly, Resident Evil Village is getting free DLC. I don't know if that's the aforementioned like DLC that was announced a couple months after it came out. At E3, they announced that more DLC was coming to RE Village, and it was going to be like story-based stuff. So I don't know if this is that, or if it's like, I would like maybe an even harder or difficulty mode, or some sort of like, I don't know if they could do like shifting around. Because what I really loved about RE7 is professional mode. They changed the way you got items in the story.
Oh, they changed the location.
Location of items and stuff like that. So like stuff like that could be cool. Would they do like a
randomizer?
Yeah, randomizer or something like that. That could be really fun. And I would definitely go back and play it for that. Give me an excuse to go back to play Resident Evil Village. Come on, man. Or they add like a new weapon or something, or like I don't think a rocket launcher was in the game. So what if you had a rocket launcher?
It wasn't, was it?
Yeah.
No.
So I mean, like, yeah, like something really cool like that. Like, I'm surprised they haven't done anything yet. Or if it's just going to be like more mercenary
more,
stuff.
Yeah, more maps or something like that.
So
yeah, I mean, there's a lot they could do. I mean, it's cool that we know that we have a story DLC coming out, and I'm wondering where that's going to go. But yeah, having a free DLC, and again, we don't know if this is that, but yeah, it's exciting. I mean, I'm definitely pumped for the next Resident Evil.
Well, they had co-op to the game. I mean,
yeah,
I don't think that would happen, but
I mean, they'd have to redo the entire story, or just Halo it. And
Halo it. You got a second Ethan running around.
Yeah,
or it could be like the some sort of weird, I don't know, Shadow Ethan or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you could just like double the monsters on screen. Yeah, I have no idea how they could do that, but yeah, I mean, they've got quite a bit of options. It'll probably just be some mercenary stuff for this free thing, but hopefully it's something cool.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it'll just be a room with you and Lady D, and you can do whatever you want.
$50 DLC.
People would definitely play it.
Yeah, this is the best-selling DLC we've ever had. I don't know.
Why is it so weird? But yeah, that's gonna kind of wrap up the news. Not a lot of stuff, a lot of big stuff, but just kind of a lot of minor stuff going on.
Yeah, I guess in November and December we typically don't get a lot of news because it's just a lot of games coming out. I mean,
yeah, a lot of games. We know we got the Game Awards coming out next month. Aaron.
That's next month. Yeah.
Yeah, weird to say. November 1st, man. This year is kind of just flown by.
Yeah. We'll probably do it up again for the Game Awards. Do a stream.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll definitely do like a good stream for that. Because again, when does it come out? When is the Game Awards?
It's normally early December, I believe.
And it's in person this time, November 9th.
December 9th?
December 9th. And that is on a Thursday. So yeah, we'll definitely do like some sort of we'll definitely do like a stream, and maybe we'll play like bingo or something, or something fun like that for our speculations and whatever. Gotta
love those speculations.
Could be fun. And then we also got episode 100 coming up here very soon. So me and Nick are gonna have to figure out the details for that, figure out what day we're gonna stream, because we're definitely not gonna do it on like a Monday or something if we plan on having some drinks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then we might have a giveaway or something. We'll figure out the finer details and figure out what we're gonna do and talk about. Definitely gonna talk about our top 10 games of all time, but like a top 25, but we'll actually kind of dive into the top 10.
Yeah.
Something like that.
We'll try to avoid diving too much in the top 25, but it's going to be hard.
It's going to be really hard. It's going to be really hard. But yeah, look forward to that stuff. We'll have details on that coming soon. So if you want to follow us over on Twitter, Nick, where can they follow us at?
They can follow us at Gaming WT Bros. That's Gaming WT Bros. I'm trying to enunciate. Enunciation. And yeah, follow us there. We tweet a lot, and we'll tweet out when the podcast drops, when we're live, any news, anything like that. So yeah, check us out there. We do giveaways sometimes. So yeah. And you can also email us any questions at gamingwiththebros@yahoo.com. We will answer them live on Twitch, or we'll answer them on the podcast.
Speaking of Twitch, you can follow us over at Gaming with the Broscast over on Twitch. We go live every Monday at 8:30ish, something like that.
Yeah,
something like that. But
normally 8:35. That's
8:35. That's a sweet spot. Yeah, gives us time to get ready and stuff like that.
Mm.
But yeah, that is going to do the show. Episode 98 is in the wraps. I'm sorry for any fantasy teams out there. Derrick Henry is gone. He's got a broken ankle. He's going to be gone for at least 6 to 10 weeks. So that sucks. Yeah, King Henry is is gone for the count. But you know what?
Did you have him on your team?
I did not. That's good. Yeah, I did not have him on my team. My Panthers did finally win a game. They lost 4 in a row, so we finally won one.
Good for them.
Just took us to lose our quarterback for at least a game or so. But we should have Christian McCaffrey back here within the next couple of games. So that's something to look forward to.
Nice.
If you like football, and yeah, we will see you guys.
If you like football, if you don't, then screw you.
This means nothing to you. Baseball, go Braves, go Atlanta, I guess.
And go Team Liquid.
Yeah, go Team Liquid. for the esports. We're just hitting all the categories today.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's gonna wrap up the show, guys. We'll see y'all next week.
Bye-bye.